Welcome back to the Plastic General. Today we're going to be covering figures and vehicles from the Finnish-Soviet War. So we're going to be covering Mars, Engineer Basevich, and some amazing Soviet vehicles that you probably did not know about. Sound exciting? Let's get started. Fire! The Finnish-Soviet War took place from 1939 to 1940. And then they sort of stopped for a little bit, and then things erupted again, where the Finns decided to rise up against the Soviets again a second time from 1940 to 1944 with the help of the Germans. So these first two figure sets are going to be sets of Finns covering Finnish Winter Infantry. Here we go. The first set we're going to discuss is by Engineer Basevich, and here we have a Finnish commander or a Finnish officer firing a pistol. There are 10 poses in this set of Finnish soldiers. The second is a standing sharpshooting. Third figure is a Finnish soldier throwing a grenade while holding a Suomi 1931 submachine gun. Wearing a fur hat and wearing white winter camouflage pants. Pose number 4 is another Finnish officer wearing it seems like a fur coat or a leather coat with his submachine gun waving on his troops. Pose number 5. A Finnish soldier sharpshooting a Suomi 1931 submachine gun wearing winter white camouflage and wearing a German coal scuttle helmet. Pose number 6. Kneeling, sharpshooting a sniper rifle while wearing winter white camouflage. I love this pose, very useful. Figure number 7. Finnish officer saluting. Here's another Finnish commander. I suspect that these are character figures of various Finnish commanders. The figure right before him is probably saluting this guy. And for sure, this will be another character figure of a famous Finnish personality holding his binoculars. He looks like a Dr. Zhivago. He's very dapper. And the final figure is a famous Finnish general smoking his pipe with his fancy leather fur coat, with his arms behind his back. It's a fantastic set. There you have it. These are all 10 poses of the Finns in this Engineer Basevich set. But I gotta say, if you don't own them now, you're screwed, because Engineer Basevich only made about 300 sets of these guys. And I knew this, so I bought 3 sets for my own use. I didn't make any conversions with them. Instead, the ones that I didn't need, I gave away to friends because I knew they're never going to get them. Good luck if you ever find them on eBay. And if you ever see them on eBay, buy them as fast as you can. Mr. Basevich, please make these again. Print them up again, because a lot of people really want them. There were also 4 other figures included in the set that were of Soviets during this confrontation, but I decided not to feature them. I want to focus on the Finns. So I know you're cursing yourself that you missed the Engineer Basevich set, but there's good news, because Mars this year, or last year, just came out with a set of Finnish Infantry. So let's get started with the first figure. Finnish ski troop firing a submachine gun with his skis. And no one's done any skis since Airfix did the German paratroopers. I'm sorry, the German mountain troops. So it's a bit of a fun treat. Pose number 2. Another Finnish ski troop with his skis, firing a Suomi 1931 submachine gun and kneeling. It's a great figure. Makes me want to go skiing. Pose number 3. Figure advancing, firing rifle. This guy seems to have a white backpack on. Figure number 4. Advancing, cautiously, with a long coat on, a white backpack or knapsack or duffel bag. Pose number 5. This is definitely from the latter years of the war. It's a Finnish soldier kneeling, firing a Panzer Schreck, a German Panzer Schreck, obviously supplied by the Germans, wearing a winter white camouflage. And he has his submachine gun strapped to his back. Pose number 6. Figure crawling with a multi-grenade or a magnetic grenade designed to stick to Soviet tanks to blow them up. So he's obviously creeping up on a T-34 and attempting to attach this grenade or throw it into the wheels of the Soviet tank. It's a really fun figure. Pose number 6. Standing, firing the Suomi 1931 submachine gun. Sharpshooting it, actually. And great action pose. Wearing winter white camouflage. See, he has his clip strapped to his belt. And finally, a character figure of a famous Finnish sniper. And his name, I think his name was Simo Haya, I think. You can see pictures of him on, if you Google him. Eventually, through the war, I think he eventually got shot in the face. So he's got a really messy face. His face is kind of lopsided due to the gunshot wound. But he had many confirmed kills, and he was a Finnish hero. And he's wearing a winter face mask. That's why he looks like a ghost. I would have preferred it if they would have had him, firing a sniper rifle. But I guess this is an honor pose. So those were the 8 basic poses. And luckily, because I always like to buy multiple sets so that I have a few figures left over to make conversions. So as always, I got started right away. So this is the first conversion of the 3 that I made. He is a combination of the top part of this figure and the bottom part of this figure. Now, somebody sent me a question and they asked me, how do you make these conversions? And I just very carefully take a scalpel hacksaw and I cut the figure in half. And then I use a form of super glue called Maxi Cure, and it glues the figures nicely. So, go to the front and back. And the middle figure is the conversion. Conversion number 2, I created a figure standing, firing a Panzer Schreck. And I created him from combining the top half of this figure and the bottom half of this figure. And finally, I created this figure kneeling, sharpshooting a Suomi 1931 submachine gun in full winter regalia. And he was created from the bottom half of this guy and the top half of this guy. Sadly, I only had enough figures to create 3, but 3 more poses is better than none. So this is the portion of the show where I try to introduce you to something amazing for your 132 scale collection that you probably didn't know about. Now, I'm a big cheater. I sometimes cheat with 135th scale model kits if they're big enough and I think they can fit in and they're compatible with my 132, which most things are. So, here we go. Hobby Boss came out with a Soviet armored train, and it's big and it's fantastic. And it's got 3 turrets. The technical name for it is the Soviet MBV-2 armored train. It's got 3 turrets. It goes beautifully with Forces of Valor or any 132 scale figures. I'll give you a little tour of the train here. This is the back. The engine is all in here. And this is the commander's cupola and the driver. And this is the viewfinder up here. It's the telescopic viewfinder. And the commander would be looking through these 2 viewports with a periscope. And this hatch is used for anti-aircraft machine guns, which I'm going to build up eventually and get a anti-aircraft machine gun in there, and the turrets. I did a little bit of customizing into the front there, but I don't know if that's completely accurate, to be honest with you. I did eventually see an amazing documentary about this on YouTube. You should look it up. It's all in Russian, but it's really exciting to watch. I'm also going to come back at a later date. I'm going to open this up and create an interior for the commander's cupola. But it's a really great additive for my Soviets. And there's nothing out there to compare it to, and it's beautifully compatible. I definitely recommend it. It runs about $100. It's cheap, it's fun to put together, and it's like a giant rolling battleship. Highly recommended. It's by Hobby Boss. And for my final feature in this episode, it's a 135th scale Soviet arisen. And it's beautifully compatible, again, with 132 figures. This one's from Forces of Valor. Fits in there nicely. And this thing is propelled by a propeller, and it slides across the snow. And you always saw them in footage of lots of Siberian winter assault troops with skis and stuff would be following this thing into battle. And there's usually a submachine gun put in the front here. So if you put a figure holding a machine gun, he can be firing from the front. It's armored, and this kit I believe is made also by Hobby Boss. And it's a lot of fun. And it slides through the snow. And that'll run you about $40. Isn't that exciting? Let's take a look at everything in action. That's it for today's episode. Please remember to hit the subscription button right there. Then hit the little bell so you can be notified about future episodes. And hit the like button because we know you like plastic toy soldiers. But before we go, I want to do a shout out to our official sponsor, MyDogTag.com. They produce authentic World War II, Vietnam War, and Korean War like a personalized military dog tags, just like these right here. That's an authentic copy. And this one says the Plastic General. Remember to use the coupon code the Plastic General to get 10% off on your next order. My name is Christian Aldo. I'm the Plastic General, We'll see you next time.